Playing Darth Maul, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome because I've been a Star Wars fan since I was a little kid, and I never thought that I would have an opportunity to play a Star Wars character, so 2 thumbs up, it's cool. What I wanted to bring to the role of Darth Maul is really just more of a rounded sense of a character, because, you know, he only says 2 lines in Phantom Menace. So how cool is it that now we get to know this guy who Sidious has been training for years, and he wanted him to be a part of the Clone Wars, but then he dies and he doesn't get to play with everyone else, and the Clone Wars starts without him, and now he's just really upset. So that's what that's what we wanted to bring to the role. Well, to prepare for an evil role, I grew a mustache and then I twisted it like this, evilly. And then you shave the mustache, but you still have the evil eyes. No, but to be honest, you have to think like you're the character. You have to ask yourself what it would be like to be this person. And in the case of Darth Maul, you know, what's it like to walk around in his shoes? Well, he doesn't have shoes because he got his legs cut off. So, you know, you ask yourself what that's like. It's not fun. So I think Darth Maul isn't having much fun. I have been a Star Wars fan since I was born, really. Just like all of you guys. It's been a huge part of my life, and my whole generation grew up with it. So I don't remember the first time I saw a Star Wars movie. I just know that I always knew all the lines and the dialogue. So I was just quoting Luke and Han since I was born, basically. I want to be a Jedi. That's what I want to be. Because, you know, that's pretty cool. Blue lightsaber, that's what I'm talking about. It is much more difficult to train to be a Jedi. Because the Sith, it's all about, like, gimme, gimme things. And for the Jedi, it's about, what can I do for other people? How can I give back to people and be cool? And that's harder to do. It takes more discipline. It takes thinking ahead, and it takes being smarter, and all those things. So I'd rather be a Jedi. Okay, now while I'd rather be a Jedi, I think I'd rather have a double-bladed lightsaber. So, you know, what do, right? But I'm sure the Jedi Council will be okay with that, right? That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get one of those. What would I do if I confronted Darth Maul in public? Well, I'd say, hey, do you want to get some coffee? And so then we'd sit down, and I'd say, like, come on, just tell me your problems. Let's talk this out, because clearly you haven't been hugged enough. Give me a hug. Come here. Bring it in. Bring it in. And then he'd probably stab me. But, you know, that's not my problem. That's his problem. Actually, that's my problem. Might have a big hole in... You know what? I would walk the other way. I'm going to change my answer to walk the other way. Kids, walk the other way. If an everyday person saw Darth Maul in public, you need to call the police, because he is a criminal. He's not very nice, and, he's probably up to no good. So definitely, tell someone. Don't just see this happen. We need to keep an eye on this guy, because he's ridiculously dangerous. Be careful. If Darth Maul and Savage fought, well, it's very clear what would happen. Savage is an incredible warrior. He's big and he's strong, and Darth Maul is quick and he's cunning. So Darth Maul would say something mean to Savage, like, you looked silly in those shoulder pads. And Savage, being kind of sensitive, he'd get choked up, he might cry. And then Darth Maul would just laugh and run away. And Savage, he doesn't need to fight him, because he just, like that, he's got him. If Darth Maul fought Luke Skywalker, okay, this is tricky, because Darth Maul, he's been formally trained. Luke Skywalker had to sort of teach himself, but Luke Skywalker is smarter. So I think Luke would figure out a way around fighting to defeat Darth Maul. He'd be a little sneakier. He'd figure things out. Darth Maul is overconfident, because that's the Sith. They always think they're too good for everyone. And Luke, he's smart. He's a smart kid. By the end of it, he doesn't necessarily start out, the smartest, but he certainly learns along the way, and I think he could take care of business. If Darth Vader and Darth Maul fought, well, Darth Maul is quicker and faster, but Darth Vader is bigger and stronger. Darth Vader probably initially was stronger in the Force, but then he got all burned up and hurt. But Darth Maul, he was pretty strong with the Force. He got cut in half. I mean, it would be interesting to see this happen because they're both at a disadvantage because they've both been injured. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. That is a tough one. I think that's one that I'm going to have to say I don't know because, you know, that's interesting. They have a lot of the same problems, these two guys. So I think that, you know, I just think that they should become friends and get together and talk about those problems. That's what I think. Does Darth Maul have any good in him? I'm really sorry to say, I don't think he has that much left in him. At one point, maybe way back, he could have had some good in him, but now he's pretty bad. You know, the thing is, the reason why Darth Maul's so bad is he's not smart enough to be to know that he should be good. That's really what's going on with that guy. You know, he wants revenge against Obi-Wan, but if he were a little bit smarter, he'd realize it wasn't really Obi-Wan's fault. You know, it was a bad situation, and that's it. You know, if he were smarter, he'd have a little bit more good in him.